Good morning, everybody, or good morning, you three. It seems like I was just live streaming a minute ago, but it was last night, and we've got a busy day today. We're going to finish up this video this morning, I hope, though we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if we can do that. Okay, is the chat thing working? I just need to make sure that you can ask questions. My phone is ringing. That's distracting. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. This is really more for the recording as anything else, but it is 10 o'clock in the morning Central Time. And I've allowed a couple of hours for this, but it's probably going to take a little bit longer to wrap it up completely. But let's jump over into Premiere, and I'll show you what I have done since we were last together. So let me get my screen switched over. Alrighty. So let me get YouTube down from up there. Okay, so here we are in the edit. Let me show you back. Let me back out to show you where we are on the big picture. So in the last video, in the first video, I should say, we did the introduction at the beginning here, and then in the second video we did most of this block right here. And you can see that there were a lot of cuts. There were a lot of transitions in here to be done. There was a lot of pieces to fit together. And then at the end of this part of the interview, we had a break that was a battery break. It was for Catherine's batteries were dead. It was time to change them, and the ending here was very abrupt. So what I wanted to do was transition over from this section to this section of the video, and something happened in the gap that I also wanted to include, and that was Steve had some photographs that he and I were talking about kind of outside of the interview, but some of what he had to share I thought was very good, and I wanted to include it. So this is what I decided to do. Towards the end of our conversation here, this was the three of us talking about luminous mushrooms at this point.
Actually taken from a time lapse. So in the time lapse shed, we have another little shed.
What I wanted to do was, because it ends very abruptly, let me show you what I mean.
We tend to use for the luminous fungi so that, nothing that you're doing with another setup will impact it.
Right. That's where it ended. And because her battery was done. So what I decided to do to soften this transition up just a little bit was I took a piece of music that kind of sounds vaguely Australian bush kind of. It sounds like there's a didgeridoo in there somewhere, and gradually just bled that in over the background as Catherine was talking, and then did a soft transition to a screen of type that explained what was getting ready to happen. So it looked kind of like this.
Shed, which we tend to use for the luminous fungi so that, nothing that we're doing with another setup will impact it.
Right. In the collection of photographs that Catherine put together, there is one of what looks like a sulfur spring. So this was what I was trying to get to, was the couple of comments that Steve and I made looking at his old photographs that probably weren't going to make it into the actual video. So I leave the music up to tell the viewer that this is not part of the interview. That's kind of what the message is. And I'm also probably going to change the sound of our voices just a little bit to soften them. Hard to describe. I may just take the edge off a little bit in the essential sound area over here. Let me show you what I mean. If I was going to make a change to the vocal, what I could do is highlight the soundtrack that I'm talking about, come over to Essential Sound, and I could change things like I could reduce the amount of vocal presence. That would take away some of the punch out of the voice, make it a bit softer, and that would just be enough to signal the fact that we aren't in the meat of the interview. But for now, I'll just leave it where it is. Now you'll notice that because this frame is not in 16 by 9, this photograph, that when I enlarge it, so to enlarge it I have to click on the picture, go to Effect Controls in the top left hand corner and go to Scale. And if I increase the scale, you'll see that when I have it filling the scale vertically, it's not quite to the corners because it's in a different aspect ratio. Now if it's my photographs, I don't care. What I'll do is I'll go to there and then I'll move it up or down a little bit to make it fit the way I like it. But I don't like doing that to somebody else's photographs. They were taken in a particular aspect ratio for a particular reason. So I like to leave them the way they are, which means I have to get rid of anything that might be showing up in the background. By that I mean, if I don't knock the video down, you're going to see part of me in the background, and that's no good. So what I do is, when I decide where I want the picture, I'll just make a cut on each end of it, and I'll drop the opacity of any video that's going on behind it to 0, so that I can have a black border to my photograph. Make sense? Okay. Because I'm telling you that because I'm going to be doing this a lot. You'll notice I just came up here to move the photograph a little bit, but I had my video highlighted. So I was moving my video back in there. You can't see it because the photo's in the way and the opacity's down. But seeing as you're never going to see this video anyway, I'm not going to mess with fixing it. I'm just going to go up to where I meant to be, and I'm going to move the picture down. And I'm going to make it a bit smaller so that it doesn't look uneven there. There you go. That looks fine. So that is on while I'm asking Steve, what are we looking at? It looks like a sulfur thing. And he answers,
what looks like a sulfur springs.
Now, Steve's audio is not coming from his microphone. It's coming from mine because we're off camera on his end. Catherine hasn't turned their camera back on yet, so I'm picking Steve up over my microphone, and his voice is much softer than mine for that reason. So I'm going to compensate by bumping up his volume when he's talking.
Sulfur springs.
So this was taken in a place called Calahagen.
I might need even, that's a lot of gain there.
A place called Calahagen. Oh, you probably shouldn't do that.
Now that was Catherine saying, should I turn the camera back on? And what we're going to do is we're going to transition to Steve's sound and camera, but I want to do it in a way that looks seamless with what we've just done. So let me see what else gets said here.
Oh, and
Just wait a minute.
yeah. No, I was just asking because I'd love to know what these photographs are showing me. But
That one is a volcano.
Okay, I think that we're not going to get anything useful out of any of that until he says that one is a volcano. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cut there, because that's where we're going to come back to their video. Nothing is going on mine that needs to be kept from there. So now I need to figure out how to transition away from, he's talking about this sulfur thing, and then he talks about it again, but after this volcano. So I may have to put this volcano in front of the sulfur, but let's see what all the parts look like when I get it together.
Oh, you probably should be there.
Oh, and,
Just waiting.
yeah, no, I was just.
Okay, let's just get rid of all of this. I mean, sometimes you just have to make a decision and then go with it, and then I'll see what's left after that. So there's nothing in there that I want to keep, so I'm going to hit Command Q. I just dragged my pointer over all of it, Command Q, and it'll collapse it all down. Now we are basically back in interview mode, in that I've got both cameras, both microphones now pumping audio, and I can stop augmenting Steve's voice because it'll be coming from his end now. Now I need to figure out how we're going to go from talking about the sulfur to talking about the mountain that we're looking at now, which means I need to get that picture over here. This is what he's now getting ready to talk about, is this mountain in Java. So, and this one is in the correct aspect ratio, it's just a little bit small, so let me bump it up. Okay, good. So let me see where we are.
But,
That
but,
one is a volcano.
All right, so I am going to get rid of one of the audios. He's talking, he doesn't need to have his voice repeated, so I'm going to take it out of mine. I'm going to be also tailing off the music here in just a second as we get back into the conversation, but I want to do it again very gradually. So let's see what is going on here.
That one is a volcano in Java, and it's a sulfur mine.
Okay, so it's not that. I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's not this volcano. We already talked about that one. It's the same volcano we're talking about. It's this one. So I'm gonna drag it out, which means I need to either drop the video out. I guess I will. I'll drop both of our videos out. Mine needs to be off because I'm getting ready to sneeze anyway. And I'll put a cut here and drop Steve's down, and we'll just go with his voice. So we're back to talking about the volcano. So we've gone from him talking about it on my sound to him talking about it on his own, and we'll just see what this sounds like.
A place called Kalaijin. That one is a volcano in.
So I might need to actually drop this volume a bit because that's a bit jarring. You know, I might not need this at all. Let me see.
So this was taken in a place called Kalaijin. That one is a volcano in Java, and it's a sulfur mine.
Okay, so this is all we're missing. It would be the name of the Kalaijin, the place. So what we'll do is, I think we might sacrifice this for the sake of sound quality. Let's.
what looks like a sulfur springs.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is take out this section here, and then I am going to move all of this, including my video and audio, back to the break point, like so. And that, if I'd done that properly, I'm going to undo that because I didn't drag all the video with me. That's the thing you've got to be very, very careful about when you're working in a small area like I was, that sometimes the changes you make in one area impact the rest of the video if you're not paying attention. And you know what, I could also use more of the screen here. Let me do that. There we go. All right, that's going to help. So yeah, I moved this but left this hanging, and that I can't do that because I have manually synchronized all of this. I didn't mention this. It's what I did this morning when I was having my coffee. To get the next piece of video together, it was all separate tracks. Audio and video were separate, and there were two sets of each. To get them all synchronized took me about 2 hours this morning. But they are synchronized, so I can't split them up. So when I move a piece of video, I need to move everything else attached to it. When I said last time that this was an unusually tricky edit, I wasn't kidding. This is a mess to edit. Let's see how that sounds.
Sulfur Springs.
That one is a volcano in Java, and
Okay, there's an echo of me saying, oh, okay, and I need to get rid of that. Oh, okay, right there. He says and right there, and I say oh, okay, right there. I think what I'll do is I'll just keyframe that by command clicking right where I start to talk. I'll do it twice and then twice more, and that'll free up a middle segment that I can drop the volume on. Yeah, so it goes and they instead of and then my echo they. So let's see what that sounds like.
a volcano in Java, and it's a sulfur mine, but they're mining.
Alrighty, we can't have his video popping up just yet, so I'm going to put a cut at the end of the photograph, drop their video down. Mine is still down.
But they're mining the sulfur where the sulfur actually is formed in the fumarole.
Okay, now Catherine hasn't come back yet, so what we're going to do is I'm going to highlight, you know, something else I'm going to do. This is going to confuse everybody. I'm going to change the color of this track to the same as their audio, so that you can see what I'm doing. Heck, where do you do that? I've forgotten. I think it's right in here. You know what? I'll figure that out in a bit. I normally don't color my tracks, so I can't remember where that is. I don't want to mess anything up. Well, give me 2 seconds to remember this. I ought to remember this. You know when you do, oh, there it is, label. That's the color. So we're going with yellow, but they don't call it yellow. They call it something else, for crying out loud. They should just call it yellow so I know what it is. Oh, there it is. That's not yellow. That's green. Hang on a sec. Okay, let's go with, what do you think that is? Marigold, or it's got to have a color. Caribbean, no. Mango. Okay, I give up. I don't know what it is. We'll just say brown, and we'll make mine just so long as theirs is the same. That'll do. Okay, I'm not going to waste any more time on that. Let's see what we've got. My sound is off. We don't have a picture up, so we're looking at Steve, and we're finishing up talking about the sulfur mine. The music's too loud at this point. In fact, it's probably been too loud throughout this section. So I'm going to drop it down a couple of decibels, down to about minus 30. Andre, how are you? Oh, you bought a Mitutoyo 10X. Good for you, man. And you are more than welcome. You are going to absolutely love that lens. That is one of the best lenses you can have for macro photography. Good for you. That's a big investment too. You'll be happy with it. All right, let's get on with this. That's bothering me, that mango color. Somebody tell me what color that is. Iris? Oh, no, that's blue. lavender, cerulean is blue, forest is green, rose is pink, mango is apparently orange, purple, blue, teal, magenta, tangerine, brown, yellow. Well, for crying out loud, it's got to be yellow. Well, it was. I don't know why it looked green. Okay, so we're good. And I won't change, well, I will change mine. Why not? Leave it the same. I had mine on pink. I'll put it back on pink. Rose. Okay, all right, so this is me, this is them. Let's get back to it.
When I was young, I worked in Falconbridge nickel smelter in Canada.
Now, one thing I could do is find an online photograph of that smelting plant in Canada and put that up just for an accent, just for to give people a picture in their mind of what he's talking about. He's talking about working in an awful smelting plant. What did he call it?
When I was young, I worked in Falconbridge nickel smelter in Canada.
Falconbridge smelter. I'm going to have a quick look for that. Just bear with me. Falconbridge smelter. Oh, right, yeah. There is a copper nickel smelter in Canada, in Ontario. So let's see if I can find a picture. Now, I use a company called, I'll put this up on the screen actually. I use a company called Pexels when I need just a picture that I'm going to only flash up for a couple of seconds for accent, and I don't want to buy the asset. I'll go to this place and I'll look for it, and yeah, it's not going to have a picture of a smelter, unfortunately. Okay, so the idea would be to find a free picture. Now, we're probably not going to be able to in any kind of time that's reasonable. There may be some Creative Commons, free footage that I could use, but unless it's immediately apparent, I'm not going to mess with it. Nah. None of this looks very inspirational, does it? Okay, we'll forget that plan. Sometimes I'll have pictures that will work for something that I can drop in there, because I mean, I would like to show what a foundry looks like so that people can have in their mind that he's talking about working in a really toxic place, but we'll just let him say it.
When I was young, I worked in...
I think I might get rid of that hesitation there.
And
the problem is his hand is off the screen when he says and Catherine is not in the screen when he says this, when these two hesitations occur. The only thing I could do is get rid of the and cut straight to here with Catherine back in the picture, but I may change the focus back to him. So I'm going to put a cut here, and I am also going to, at least for now, cut out my part of this as well, because I'm not saying anything. You'll see what I mean. So this whole block is going to be sacrificed. Now, I don't normally sacrifice other people's hesitation sounds. It's part of their character, part of their way of talking. But in this case, I think it's distracting. So collapse all that down by hitting Command Q. Now we jump straight to his answer. So let's see what that sounds like.
Is formed in the funeral. When I was young, I worked...
Yep. I like that. I like that better. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to zoom in on his face for this because this is a touching story right now. So I'm going to make their scale a little bigger. Switch to Steve. I'm using the actual coordinates to move the picture, unlike in some editors where you would drag it around in the window. I prefer to do it over here by using the video editing options are going to be present anytime you click on a video clip and go to Effects Controls. This panel will open and it handles position, left and right, up and down, like that. Scale, obviously, the size of the image or the size of the frame. Uniformity, meaning I can keep the width and height in the same aspect ratio, or I can stretch one or the other. Rotation is just as it sounds. It will rotate, and you'll notice it rotates around a point in space that you can set. Right now it's obviously anchored at a point down here. I could reset it to the center of the screen if I wanted to, so that it would rotate in a way more predictable. But don't worry about that for now. Opacity is putting a mask on. I think there are a couple of places later in the video that I'm going to mask something out, so I'll show you how that works then. But by clicking on one of these shapes or the pen, you can create an area of the image that is masked out so that you can show stuff behind it. In other words, you can do like a picture-in-picture effect. The lumetri color is all of the editing parameters that you would have in a photograph editor, basically. And you can get them from here. You can get them by going over here to the right to lumetri color, and it'll give you all of these usual sliders that you can use to adjust the picture. We're not getting into that right now because I already did this at the beginning. I set up the images, footage the way I wanted it, and I made it uniform across all the footage. But that's where you would do this. These essential tabs, by the way, are the most useful tool for a beginner in this program. It allows you to do everything with the sound, the music, the background, or the dialogue, as well as everything with graphics and effects, whether it's transitions or other video effects. You can do anything in this. You can make people's faces fuzzy and do all kinds of fancy cinematic effects and transitions. We simply don't have time to get into that. Maybe I'll do that in a video series later on. So let's get back to what we were doing, which was hearing this story about the sulfur.
When I was young, I worked in Falconbridge Nickel Smelter in Canada, which is near Sudbury, and worked with software. Okay, that's me saying something unimportant in the background, and I'm just going to cut that out because, yeah, I don't want to distract from his story here. Which is near Sudbury, and worked with sulfur dioxide, and we had respirators and things like this, but the sulfur dioxide was a horrible thing to work in. Okay, he's got a little bit still to go here before we get back to the main flow of the interview, which I think is about here. But I'm going to start to tail this music off. How long you do that over depends on the music and how loud it is when you start. But generally, to make a fairly smooth and unnoticeable transition away from the music, I'll just put a keyframe here by hitting Command and clicking, and then maybe let me see, that's about 15 seconds, 23, now it's 10 seconds further up. I'll put another one and then just drop it to 0. So it's going to go from low volume to off imperceptibly
imperceptibly as he talks.
And, we had respirators and things like this, but the sulfur dioxide was a horrible thing to work in. The smoke there is sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen cyanide. And these young kids go and work in, they have to climb up.
Got another echo of me in here.
And these.
I wish I wouldn't.
And
I wish I wouldn't say stuff when he's talking. Well, it's not bad. I think I'm just gonna, when he's quiet there, my sound is bleeding through. I'm just going to, I'm on the wrong sound, on the wrong track. There we go. I'm just going to drop that out like that.
Fluoride, hydrogen cyanide. These young kids.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I think what I'll do is actually, I might just cut this whole piece out. Yeah, let's try that instead. Well, I don't need to cut the photograph out. I'll cut this and bring it back in here. Okay, let's see what that looks like. I think that should be fine. So, Command Q to get rid of that whole block. Let's hear it.
Hydrogen cyanide. These young kids go and work in, they have to climb up into the clouds, into the fume there. So.
Okay, I was a bit at a loss for words as to what I was going to say about this photograph at this point. It's really disturbing to me that, I mean, this is really poisonous stuff, and these kids are up there, they're laying these buckets down, and I didn't quite know what to say. So let me see if there's anything I say that I want to keep in the video.
That is unbelievable. Are those buckets laid there by the workers?
Well, obviously they were laid there by the workers. That qualifies as a dumb question. They say there aren't any. That was one. Let me see where we go with this thought. I might just take it all out.
Yeah. The workers there are actually repairing the pipes.
Okay. I am trying to decide what to do here. I think I'm just going to let this story unfold. So I'm going to just cut this piece out. Bear with me here, guys, because this is the creative part of this, is deciding what's important and what's not to the overall discussion that we're having. Remember, we're here to talk about mushrooms. I'm putting this in because I think it's an important part of Steve's life experience, and it fits. But to get to the next idea, he has to get through this idea. So let's see what this looks like.
Into the fume there. The workers there are actually repairing the pipes. There are pipes at the top of the fume roll coming down.
Okay, he's talking about something, so we need to show it. He's talking about these. So maybe what I'll do is actually, starting about here,
the workers there are actually repairing
he starts to talk about the pipes right here. So let's put a keyframe on the picture right there. And then as he gets to, he says there are pipes here. And he's talking now about this area of the picture. So let's do what our eyes would do if we were standing there looking at the picture with him. We would focus on what he's talking about. So let's do that. And that really kind of gives you more of a feel for the awful nature of this. So, because this is a very short transition, I don't want it to be jarring any more than it has to be. So I'm going to ease out. So this is highlighting the two keyframes, clicking on temporal interpolation, and ease out, and then I will ease into the next one. So that will make this hopefully a very smooth transition. Let's have a look.
The workers there are actually repairing the pipes. There are pipes at the top
Nice.
of the beam roll coming down, and they were repairing the pipes. I could talk for about a half an hour on that, but it's nothing to do with fungus.
Okay, well that's about the perfect segue to the rest of the video. Even though we didn't get to see a lot of his other photographs, I know he comes back around and talks about, because some of these are really good and some of them have funny stories, like this one. That's a ski resort in Bolivia, and this picture of the Ganges, he talks about this. Yeah, so I mean, I hate to not have continuity here, but we've got to follow the direction the interview took. So let's see what happens next.
I could talk for about a half an hour on that, but it's nothing to do with fungus.
Let's see, do I smile at that point? I don't know. This is just to remind, no, I'm frowning. This is just to remind anybody who's watching that I'm the one doing the interview, in case they just tuned in. How did my video get out of sync? Oh, it's probably not. It's the two videos are out of sync.
Fascinating, and I did ask you to tell me a little bit about your photography prior to mushroom time, and I had no idea. You travelled a lot in your photography.
Okay, this is the part of the story I really wanted to include, is how he came to be traveling during this part of his life, and it's a touching part of the story that has significance for me. So I'm going to skip this part and get straight to my question. Let's see where he ends.
I could talk for about a half an hour on that, but it's nothing to do with fungus.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to cut him out here and get straight to my question. So we'll let, at the end of his laugh, we're going to drop his volume, and so I don't forget, I'm also going to bring them both back into the screen. So I go to the effects controls. Oh, that's my own video I just messed with. Let me highlight his video, go back to just 100%, move both of them onto the screen. Look, I'm out of rotation. I'm at a weird angle. So let me change that to 0, enter, and then move it up. When you do this, you'll realize you have a lot of balls in the air at any given moment. You got a lot going on. So we got them back in the frame, and let's put me up to ask this question.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating, and
it's fascinating.
It's fascinating.
That would be a good place to, I think, start. So what I'll do is I'll cut my video. I'll excise this piece, which is of no use. So I hit V to get to the selection tool, then hit delete, remove that. And because my video and audio are now linked, I can slide it back to where I would be coming in on the end of their laugh. And my picture would be coming in too. So let's try that.
On that, but it's nothing to do with fungus.
it's fascinating, and I did ask you to tell me a little bit about your photography prior to mushroom time, and I had no idea. You travelled a lot in your photography. These are all over the world, these pictures.
All right, so this was what I wanted to get to, was why was he traveling as a young guy, and there's a story that goes with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my narration and switch to his answer. This is at the delay between here and Australia. He's listening to my question a few seconds after I ask it. So that's why I'm constantly having to move things around. Let's listen to what that sounds like by bringing his audio back up.
Yeah, mostly in Asia.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just slide, change of plan. Let me just make sure this is him, not me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to drop my audio down, and then I'm going to put a cut on their video because they're off screen, like this. I'm going to highlight that and delete it. Then I'm going to slide. Let me make sure I'm getting everything to the right of this. I think I am. All the way to the end of the interview, it's one piece of video. So as long as I work in a linear fashion, I shouldn't damage anything downstream. So let me just move all of this down to where his answer would be, and let's see what that sounds like. We'll get me off screen, him on screen, his volume off, mine off.
Over the world, these pictures.
Yeah, mostly in Asia, some in South America.
Okay, so I want to ask him, is your travel for photography or was it something else? So there's nothing of mine in here that's important, so I can cut my sound. And actually, I don't like to remove more than I absolutely have to, and I want to move my sound back to here. So I'll just cut that piece out. Now, you don't have to do that. I could just slide my audio over myself, and that would be easier. But I'm trying to show you what each decision that I'm making looks like graphically. So I'm going to move my response to the end of his statement so that we overlap a tiny amount. Then I'm going to put my volume back up. You know, I can expand this because we don't need the music anymore. And then I'm going to drop his volume down while I'm talking. And this is just the way it goes all the way through, like this. Is swapping out who's talking. So I'm going to drop his volume down. Mine is up. When I'm talking, at least some of the time I want my picture up there, and I don't have to change his picture because remember the video that's in the highest track is going to mask out everything underneath it. So let's see.
Was your travel...
I'm too hot there. That's something to pay attention to, is that I'm not, that neither of us is coming in too loud.
Mostly in Asia, some in South America.
Was your travel for photography, or did you just do your photography because you were visiting?
This is well initially, I think. That's his answer, so I may have to move it back just a little bit. Let me see what it sounds like.
Well, initially
yeah, it does need to come back just a tad. I'll just slide it over the top there. And I will, because some of this is him and some of this is me, I'm going to use a keyframe here. And a keyframe here, and just drop my volume gradually so that it's not too jarring. Let's hear it.
Or did you just do your photography because you were visiting?
I'm hearing.
Yeah, as I said, initially I start
Yeah, I may just skip all of that and go with this clean one.
Initially, I'd always liked travelling, but when
Okay. This is the hardest thing to do in an edit of an interview type situation, is to know when to just stop messing around with a little piece of audio and just move on to a better starting point, which is clearly up here. There's too much indecision in here. I'd always liked traveling. I mean, that's a clear starting point, and it answers my question. Did you travel for photography?
Do your photography because you're busy. Travel for photography?
In fact, I could stop that question right there. Did you travel for photography? I'd always loved traveling, and then he gets into explaining that. So let's do that. So we'll cut mine there. We'll bring him in here, and everything in between can be sacrificed. Let's see what that sounds like. Now, I can always bring that back if I decide I need it.
Travel for photography?
I'd always liked travelling, but when
Okay, I have a sage-looking nod there. Here's a trick. I've made a big cut here, and I don't know how I'm going to transition. So let's look at that. That was a save. When it's saving, you can't do anything. It makes that noise. No, it's not going to be a very jarring one, but normally at a break like this, I would pull my video down and let his come through, which I'm going to do.
Is your travel for photography?
I'd always liked travelling, but when my partner died,
You know, there's a problem with the audio, and the problem is his audio is not auto-correcting for loudness, and that is something that is easy to fix by going to dialogue. I'm using the default preset for their dialogue because it's two different voices. I don't want to do too much to change either of them, but there is a tab called loudness, and their auto match is turned off. I just realized that's why they were so quiet. So it's now it's reading the track, and now it's reset the volume to match mine. That's going to make a big difference. And I'll go back and I do that to the whole video at the end. I auto match everything.
Was your travel for photography?
I'd always liked travelling.
You know, I think I'm going to do that right now while I'm thinking about it. I'm just going to take everything. Ooh, I'm not going to do that. That was, I just dragged the track by accident. Let me make sure I didn't just ruin something.
I could talk for about a half an hour on that, but it's nothing to do with fungus.
It's fascinating, and I did ask you.
Okay, I didn't mess anything up. So what I'll do is I'll go back here, and then I will click and select their entire part of the video, and then I will go to dialogue, loudness, auto match, and what that will do is it'll interrogate the entire all their audio. It'll look at all their audio at once, and it'll correct all of the volume. So yeah, so we're better matched. I should have done that ages ago. I usually don't think about it because when I'm working by myself, something I do at the end. Let me see. Where were we? I'm talking. No, we were up here. That is the one section. These two are the did not get included in that correction there. The auto match. See, I can tell now because the audio my brain's not awake yet. Let me fix that. Yeah, so the whatchamacallits aren't high enough when I haven't auto matched it. So there we go. This should sound better. Sorry guys, I've only had half a cup of coffee, and I've got a picture framing video coming up in just a little bit. I'm going to need more coffee before that. So let's see.
Tell me a little bit about your photography prior to mushroom time. And I had no idea. You traveled a lot in your photography. These are all over the world, these pictures.
Yeah, mostly in Asia, some in South America.
Was your travel for photography?
I'd always liked travelling, but when my partner died,
I don't know how I react to that. I'm pretty sure I did react. Nah, that reaction, yeah, I'm going to leave that out.
but when my partner died and I got sick, and then I came out of that, and I got into travelling a lot then. So I'd probably travel twice a year, something like this. Go to South America, or
Tell me where that first one is.
the one, what's its number? 16. That's taken in a ski resort.
Okay, so that's a weird cut. He's telling a pretty
A lot then.
sad story, and then
I'd probably travel twice a year, something like this. Go to South America, or
okay, so he's talking about going to South America. I don't want Catherine prompting him here, so I'll remove that, but let's jump to, he's talking about this crazy photograph right here. So let's just jump to that. Let's get it all in the frame. Ah, heck, it's another different aspect ratio. He talks about it for a good while, I think.
drop toilet.
Yeah, that's the funny part right there. And I'm still talking about it there, so about there is where we'll leave it up for not all of the time, but for most of the time, which means I'll leave his video up because you won't be able to well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to chop this up and show pictures of them talking when he's saying the funny thing, but let's listen to it first.
Tell me where that first one is.
So we're going to cut that bit out. We don't need to cut mine out because I don't even know how close they are synced right now, so we can just cut that out and slide theirs down.
South America, or the one, what's its number? 16.
Okay, we're going to skip all that.
That's taken in a ski resort.
Okay, it's a bit clunky of a transition, but it should do. Let's see.
Go to South America, or that's taken in a ski resort. Well, sort of called a ski resort. It's got a ski lift in Bolivia.
Okay, so I say oh dear. I'm gonna put that in because we have some back and forth on this. So I'm gonna put my volume up for that, and I'm gonna slide it down right on the end of his comment.
Ski resort. Well, sort of called a ski resort. It's got a ski lift in Bolivia.
A ski resort.
Okay, that was actually, the cut was in the wrong place there.
It's above La Paz, so it's about over 5,000
dear.
metres.
Okay, that's where I say, oh dear, I was really off on the synchronization. So I'm going to cut that out, delete that segment, move this down like so.
Called a ski resort. It's got a ski lift in Bolivia.
Oh dear.
Okay, that's good.
It's
Then I can cut my volume back down immediately until I say something up here, and we'll go back to the story.
it's above La Paz.
Now that's an echo of me on there.
It's
Yep.
above.
So I've got to get rid of my echo again. This is all stuff you normally don't have to do because it's not an issue. Let's see.
A ski resort. Well, sort of called a ski resort. It's got a ski lift in Bolivia.
Oh dear.
It's above La Paz, so it's about over 5,000 metres. Now, skiing at over 5,000 metres, you'd have to be nuts.
Staying at that hotel, you'd have to be nuts.
Good point. I think we're going to zoom in on that hotel because he gets ready to say something humorous about it. So we'll put a cut in the picture. Actually, I didn't need to do that. I could have just keyframed it. Well, I'm going to do that anyway. So I'm going to click on that part, add a keyframe, and then we're going to do a fairly slow zoom. He's getting ready to say that this thing is the toilet. So I want to kind of zoom in on that gradually. So I'm going to move my timeline all the way up to where he's already said the toilet part and then zoom in on that so that you can really appreciate what a shocking prospect that would be. So let's see what that sounds like. I'll tell you what, I'm also going to add some easing to the transition so that it's more more pleasant to see. Let's see what that sounds like.
A ski resort.
That bothers me that I can hear an echo of me saying something.
It's taken in
Yeah, that. I'm not going to cut it out, I'm just going to drop the volume.
that's taken in a ski resort. Well, sort of called a ski resort. It's got a ski lift in Bolivia.
Oh dear.
It's above La Paz, so it's about over 5,000 metres. Now, skiing at over 5,000 metres, you'd have to be nuts.
Staying at that hotel, you'd have to be nuts.
Well, that hotel looks very picturesque, but it has no heating, and the bit that's hanging out over the cliff is their drop toilet.
This was back in. When was this?
This would have been.
This looks more like a Scottish ski resort.
Okay, we need some facial expressions in here, so let's decide where I'm going to cut the picture.
Over 5,000 metres. Now, skiing at over 5,000 metres, you'd have to be nuts.
Staying at that hotel, you'd have to be nuts.
Agreed.
Well, that hotel looks very picturesque, but it has no heating, and the bit that's hanging out over the cliff is their drop toilet.
This was back in. When
Okay, tell you what, let's cut the picture here. I want to catch his laugh. So I'm just going to delete that. It's been up for ages. Do I laugh at this point? Probably.
was this?
This would have been.
No, leave me out of it.
This was back in, when was this?
This would have been.
This looks more like a Scottish ski resort.
Okay, now I interrupt him again. This interruption thing keeps happening because of the delay. I'm talking before I hear his voice, so I'm thinking there's dead air when in fact he's already started a question, and it happens over and over again. It's difficult to time your conversations when you're separated by. Hey, good morning, Laura. I just saw you were there. Oh, select a section that has the color you want and look up what it says. What you mean? Oh. You're talking about finding the photograph. Yeah, I've been using that Google image search thing, and you can search by rights. The problem is there are about 7 different Creative Commons licenses, and not all of them give you permission to use these images in a video that may have some commercial value. Anyway, when there's an extended back and forth in the conversation, why don't you have your and their video on screen at the same time? Because we're in very different surroundings. I tried that in the first video, and sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. And in this case, because of the delay in the audio, it just looks really funky. There's no reason for there to be a delay if we're in the same room, so it creates a kind of dissonance, and I didn't like the effect, so that's why I'm not doing that. I try instead to just cut camera to camera and do it that way. So back to the work.
The drop toilet.
This was back in, when was this?
I think we're just gonna cut to his laugh.
This was back in.
Yeah, we'll just cut to there. You'll notice I'm not cutting everything that is extraneous like I would if it was my own video. It's, you want to leave it as natural sounding as possible, but there are some bits that just you can't resist the temptation to clean up. Let's try that. And actually, let me move the image back to him there.
There's no heating. And the bit that's hanging out over the cliff is their drop toilet.
When was this?
That's better.
This would have been.
This would have been, and then I interrupt him, so...
this would have been.
That's me there in echo, so... What I might do is just cut all of that out. After his laugh, just go to my comment, which is starting here. Let me see.
Yeah, this looks like a. This looks more.
Okay, that's what I'll do there. I'll put a cut there. I will come right in on his laugh.
Toilet?
Yep, right there. That way I can say my funny line. By the way, this does look like a Scottish ski resort that I know in Aviemore. That's in England though. No, that's in Scotland. Yeah. It's a shocking look. It's an icy hill is what it is.
This looks more like a Scottish.
We'll drop their volume down. Let's see if that works.
Over the cliff is their drop toilet.
This looks more like a Scottish.
Okay, what we cannot have is them on screen talking with no sound coming out. So we've got to jump back to me.
Toilet?
This looks more like a Scottish ski.
No, I need to be more on top of that laugh, like that.
drop toilet.
This looks more like a Scottish ski resort.
All right. My laugh is staying in.
Oh dear, it is beautiful, but it looks cold. Where is that in the next photograph in 17?
What is 17? Oh no, that's okay, we're jumping to topics. I'll cut a lot of this out at the end. I'll just leave my laugh in.
Like a Scottish ski resort.
And then we want their laugh in as well, because he's chuckling. So let's see where that is. We'll leave their volume down till I know where his laugh comes in. So I don't need to see me laughing, but I want to see them laughing. So let's cut my video down here. Is he laughing here?
Oh dear,
No, that's where they start to laugh there. So what I'm going to do is I'll put a cut here and a cut here. I'll just excise that piece and bring their video up while I'm laughing. Okay, we're all laughing at the same time. And then we can finish this and move on to the next picture.
Oh dear,
Okay, I'm going to leave that beautiful place in.
It's a beautiful place.
I think that this is here, so we're quickly out of sync again. Remember that no, this is here. The issue is that the waveforms are going to be inverted. When he's talking, his waveforms are small down here, and when I'm talking, they're small up here. So it can be misleading how you coordinate them. Let's see what this looks like if I cut my volume down right here. All right, so the idea is that we really only want one person on the microphone at any given time, unless we're doing an overlap. So let's listen to this.
It's a beautiful place.
Okay, the beautiful place needs to be right on the end of that laugh. It doesn't need to be dangling out in space like that. So let's try that.
ski resort.
It's a beautiful place.
It's a bit of a jump because the camera's on him. Let's see how bad the transition is for me here. Oh, there is no transition. That's perfect. We'll use that. And then I'll put a cut here, drop my video out there, and that should smoothly transition to Steve.
It's a beautiful place.
Okay, that's better. And I think this is an echo. It's he says but I'm saying something else. So let's get rid of that. In fact, because he's actually saying something there, we'll get rid of the whole thing like this. All right, so what's next? Okay, we're going to just jump straight to the next photo.
That's in India.
Where is that? Okay, I'm trying to edit with my own echo, not with my soundtrack.
It looks cold. Where is that?
Where is that?
Where is that? Where is that in the next photograph?
Let's just go with that. So I'm going to interrupt the hilarity down here with where is that in the next photograph?
The next photograph.
and I'm just gonna cut myself off right there and go straight to the picture of the Ganges, which is right here. And let me get that right sized, and then we'll probably ease into this picture too. Oh, you know what I didn't do was go back and fix the background from the other photograph. I'll do that right now. So this will be where it starts, and let's transition into it. And it's me talking. Where is this in the next photograph? I think I'll just leave my screen off, and I'm going to turn theirs off too. And all this can go.
Oh, yeah, it is beautiful, but
it is beautiful.
It is beautiful, but it looks cold. Wait.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, let's just leave it at. I don't need to agree with his comment about it being a beautiful place. We can see that. So
It's a beautiful place.
let's bring the Ganges up here right now. So we don't need any of this, and I can cut the whole thing out to there. Well, let me put a cut in here so to keep everything organized, and then excise that. So that should just go straight from "it's a beautiful place" to me asking, where is this?
It's a beautiful place.
Where is that?
That is just jarring. I may have to leave the lead into that question in. So let me try that. Now, if you hit the letter A, then you can use your move tool to move everything to the right of your cursor, all in a block, all the way to the end of the sequence. So that's very handy. Let me see if I can add a little bit of lead into that question. So I'm going back to V, but I have to unselect everything on the screen here. So I just click on the black part. Otherwise, it will keep everything selected. Now I'm going to drag the edge where, when the cursor turns red, if I click and drag, I can stretch out what came before or after the clip that's highlighted. So let's see what I'm doing here.
Looks cold. Where is...
Okay, I'm going to leave this in. Look, it looks cold is fine. It doesn't need anything else.
It looks cold.
Yeah. We'll go to me saying it looks cold. I'm going to use the A button to highlight everything, so it move it all together. And then I'll transition the picture in over the top of me with my camera getting ready to turn off, because remember, the picture is smaller than the screen. So this will make sense in a second. I'm going to put a cut on both of our videos, and then I am going to drop his video off, and then I am going to add a transition to mine. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I have, you know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going to get rid of that by clicking on it and deleting it. This is going to fade in over the top of me. I would rather if I was fading out. So what I'm going to do is go up to Effects, top right hand corner. Then I'm going to go to Video Transitions. The first one is Dissolve. The third choice is Dip to Black. I'm going to grab the effect, which is this box with the diagonal line in it, and I'm going to drag it onto my clip right there. Well, it didn't drag. I'm clicking and dragging it. There it is. Like so. So now what's going to happen is this image is dissolving in, this is dissolving out, and that one's off. So as the picture comes in, which is smaller, I will be disappearing, should be disappearing like so. See how I disappear slowly as his picture comes in? That's the effect I'm looking for. All right, so where were we? Let's check that.
It's a beautiful place.
It looks cold. Where is that in the next photograph?
Okay, I'm going to turn all of that volume down so we don't get that echo.
Cold. Where is that in the next photograph in 17? That's in India, right?
We don't need the number for the slide.
In 17.
So we'll cut that out and just go with, that's in India, right? In fact, I can leave that in as a pause, except I cut the wrong person's, sorry, that was the wrong audio. I just...
In 17.
In 17. So I'm just going to put a cut on my own audio and then drop that down and you leave it as a pause.
That in the next photograph, that's in India, right?
You must notice that sounds terrible. The absolute silence never sounds good in video. And we don't have any music to hide it with, so I'll probably just cut this whole chunk out. In fact, I won't probably, I will cut this whole chunk out like this. There's nothing here that needs to be preserved. So I'm going to put a box around all of that. Command Q to collapse it. Now we should skip that section.
Where is that in the next photograph? That's in India, right?
Okay, good. I'm going to just stretch this out and put a cut on both our videos and pull them down so that you've got a black background while he finishes talking about the Ganges. Before I forget, let me fix any video that was left in the background of this photograph. Oh, that's right, I zoomed in on it, so it shouldn't make a difference. It does there though, doesn't it? Let's find out where all I need to take care of the background. It starts right here. So that video needs to go, that video. Yep, all of that. I think I started to zoom in. Nope. Why is it all wonky looking there? Oh, is this...
Well, that hotel looks very picturesque, but it has no heating. And the bit that's hanging out over the cliff is their drop toilet.
This looks more like a Scottish ski resort.
It's a beautiful place.
It looks cold. Where is that in the next photograph?
Okay, I'm happy with that. So we're back to the Ganges now.
That's in India, right?
Varanasi. Yeah, that's in Varanasi. And just the scene down the river.
Let's get rid of my volume. Where am I talking here?
That's in India, right?
Okay, then my volume can let go.
Varanasi. And just the scene down.
He says Varanasi twice, so I don't think we need it here.
Varanasi. And just the scene down the river. And just the scene down.
Oh no, he doesn't say it twice, he says it once. Okay, we could leave that the way it is.
In India, right?
Varanasi. And
okay, it's I thought it was Varanasi. You don't correct other people's pronunciations, though, do you? We cut a bit of that off.
Yeah, right.
Or Varanasi.
I think that maybe this is part of it too.
That's in
India,
Varanasi.
Yeah,
Varanasi or Varanasi.
Okay. So I've got me talking on top of him. Let me put a cut here and get me out of the way of him saying Varanasi.
Photograph.
Yeah, that's in Varanasi. Or
That's in India. That's the end of India, and that's also him saying Varanasi. So let me see what is going on here.
yeah, that's in Varanasi. Or Varanasi.
Oh, I see.
That's in
That's in Varanasi, and I'm talking over him. Let's split these up. Let's actually move. Let's move this whole thing back. Then move just that's in India back a bit.
Photograph. That's in India.
yeah, that's in
Okay.
Oh, that's in.
So this is me, that's in India, and he's going to start.
India,
yeah, that's
right?
in
Actually, I can do a bit better than that, because I say that's in India, right, and then he starts that's Varanasi. So let's try that.
Photograph. That's in India, right?
yeah, that's in Varanasi.
Yeah, okay, that's better. I don't know how I got that overlapped.
Or Varanasi.
And I think I'm going to remove him correcting that. Because I can.
Yeah, that's in Varanasi. And just the scene down the river.
I don't know what that is.
Varanasi. And just the scene down the river early in the morning in the Ganges.
Where do I say that must be Ganges there? Let me see.
Is
No, it's right there.
the Ganges?
I don't need to have that in there. Which means I want to get rid of the echo too.
Just the scene down the river early in the morning in the Ganges.
Okay, just get rid of my Ganges there with a cut and a cut there. Okay, we'll just turn it off.
Down the river early in the morning in the Ganges.
Okay,
The next one's a volcano, that's Mount Bromo. The next one.
okay, so let's just cut all of that out till we get to the volcano. So we haven't even got back into the interview yet, guys, so
In the morning in the Ganges.
yeah, we'll just go straight to the next one and we'll cut. I Command Z because I had a cut in the wrong place. Now that should be all of that ready to go. Go back to V, select all of that, Command Q to get rid of it. Now, because there's a transition here, we'll hide the transition with me on camera for a second. I mean, just for a second, just long enough to break the thing, and then we'll put the next image up. Drop my opacity, leave them up, and they have the microphone. Let's see.
It's the scene down the river early in the morning in the Ganges. The next one's
That's a bit abrupt, isn't it? Let's see what it looks like when the picture's up. It's this picture. Where does he?
the next one's a volcano that's Mount Bromo.
No, I'm just going to leave that. Well, I'll put my picture in because it hadn't been up in a while, and then I'll stretch this picture out. He doesn't talk about it for long, and I am going to enlarge it to fill the space. All right, good. So this continues now for however long it takes to bring in. I've got a couple more video clips of mine that are going to have to fit in here, and we've got some time-lapse video that I'm going to be working in. But as you can see, there's a lot of interview left, a lot of pieces to this still to go. I don't think this is going to be done in an hour, but I'm gonna talk less and edit more, so you can just see the steps. You can always rewind it slower if there's something you miss.
Volcano that's Mount Bromo, or the Tenga caldera, more strictly speaking, because there's two volcanoes in that picture. The one in the background is
I'm saying this is a volcano, so I must have pointed at something. Yeah, I'm pointing at that. I shouldn't have said this. I mean, without a pointer, that's pointless, literally.
the one in the background is yeah. The well,
Okay, let's put my audio up here.
This is a volcano. The foreground's a volcano, yeah?
well,
This is a volcano, the foreground's a volcano, yeah, and then he responds. Let's get rid of my echo here, all the way up to his response.
This is a volcano.
No, this is me.
knows in that picture. The one in the background is
Me interrupting him again.
This is a volcano. The foreground's a volcano, yeah?
well, the whole scene.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is,
The one in the back. Yeah.
This is a volcano.
he's answering, this is a volcano, yeah. Nothing here is important, so what I'm going to do is excise this to get it out of the way, and then I interrupt him.
The one in the back.
This is a volcano.
I interrupt him, this is a volcano, and he answers,
Yeah.
yeah. So I interrupt him again. In fact,
The foreground's a volcano.
this is my echo. We can just drop that out, and then his response will come on the end. Okay, that should do it.
The one in the back.
This is a volcano.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we lose a picture. Let's put mine up. And then stretch the volcano back to here. Let's try that.
The one in the back.
This is a volcano.
Yeah.
The foreground's a volcano, yeah? Wow.
Well, the whole
Okay, I don't. That's just not doing anything. We'll get rid of it. Then I'll move my sound that I make right on top of him.
Wow.
Okay, and then straight to his answer, like so. Let's try that.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, the whole scene is a volcanic.
Okay, all right, that's pretty dynamic. And then we're picking up his echo on my track, so we can get rid of that from there. And that should have him back to just talking on screen.
Well, the whole scene is a volcanic caldera. The little bit of smoke coming out of the volcano in the foreground.
Okay, let's show that. In fact, let's zoom in on it. Let's center it, but leave enough of the background to give context to where we are. Okay, so this is
In the foreground is Mount Bromo, and the one in the background is Mount Semeru.
now I could just zoom back out and position the other mountain in the middle of the frame. Should I do that? Yeah, why not? In for a penny, in for a pound. In fact, let's even start at the beginning, zoom back out to almost the full frame. This is where my OCD kicks in. I don't like doing half the job. So we'll start out at the full picture, and then between here and here, well, he starts immediately talking about Mount Bromo. So we're here at the beginning. Let's throw down keys there, and then we'll zoom in quickly to the front volcano. So I'll move the timeline forward, and then I'll zoom and pan left at the same time onto Mount Bromo. Then I'll ease into that. I won't ease out because it'll take too long. And then I'll leave it there while he talks about Mount Bromo.
Mount Bromo, and the one in the background.
And then I'll put a keyframe here that says don't move between here and here. So that's the keyframe marker there, and another one for the size. Now from here I want to pan out to show the whole picture again, and I'll do it about in the same amount of time I did to zoom in. So I'm going to zoom back out, and of course as soon as I make any change to the position or the scale, that throws down another marker. So we can go back to full size and centered position, just how we started, like so. And then we'll ease that in as well so that it's kind of consistent. So that should do it. Let's see.
Foreground is Mount Bromo, and the one in the background is Mount Semeru.
That's terrible. That's just absolutely terrible. I hate that. Now, what I could do is I could grab these two and I could move them out, grab these two and move them out, and just slow the whole process.
And is Mount Bromo, and the one in the background is Mount Semeru. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. You know what? I'm going to unclick that and unclick that, and that will kill all of those keyframes and just undo everything I just did. That just doesn't look good at all.
The volcano in the foreground is Mount Bromo, and the one in the background is Mount Semeru.
Yeah, okay. And then Catherine whispers something.
Yeah, Java, Indonesia.
She's saying, where is this? Java, Indonesia. He already said that earlier, so we're going to just cut that.
Java.
Indonesia's got.
Krakatoa.
Oh, that's right. I better include that because people will like that. Krakatoa was a Javanese volcano that blew half the planet apart when it erupted.
Indonesia's got.
Krakatoa.
All right, so he says Java here.
Yeah, Java.
Do I ask where is this?
The background's Mount Semeru. Yeah.
Where is this? Okay, then in which case I've got to add that in. That's my where is this.
Where is this?
Okay, we're going to get rid of that whispery bit. And we'll bring my question back to here.
Background's Mount Semeru.
Where is this?
And his answer is Java.
Yeah, Java.
I don't know what the yeah is. Let's lose that and just go Java.
Java, Indonesia.
Java, Indonesia.
Java.
Indonesia's got.
Krakatoa.
And then we'll just go to me talking about Krakatoa, which is right here. Not there, that's the echo.
That's where
Yeah, you see,
Krakatoa
I went
was.
there.
Alrighty, so there's nothing there I need. I'll delete that. Slide me down to here. He says Indonesia. That's where Krakatoa was, so that's an echo in there. We'll get rid of that. And he responds, yes, I've been there. And to make that make sense visually, I'll put me back on screen to say that, and then him back on screen to answer. Let's see what that looks like.
Semeru.
Where is this?
Java, Indonesia.
That's where Krakatoa was.
Indonesia's got. That's it.
Well, I don't know what this was.
Indonesia's got. That's it.
I think we can get rid of all of that. And that must be echo of that.
That's it.
No, it's echo of this. So, what I'm going to do then is just drop the volume on my sound.
Krakatoa was.
Of course, I need to put this where it belongs.
Krakatoa was.
That's it. I went there as well.
Okay, that flows better.
Steve really got into volcano.
That's it. I went there as well.
Okay, that's cool. What am I saying here?
Steve really got
Oh.
into volcanoes for a while. That was the passion before fungi.
Uh-huh.
I went there as well.
Okay, I'm tempted to just leave that.
Steve really got into volcanoes for a while.
I don't know, there's something about that I don't, I'd rather kind of leave it with his laugh.
I went there as well.
Where are we going? Let's see.
Oh, really? Do any...
No. I ask a question about fungus and volcanoes, trying to bring the thing around into a full circle. Oh, I'm sorry. I see some messages here. Oh, hey, Ploddles. You're waiting for this live stream to end? Well, it's going to be a while. Yeah, I've got. I'm going to keep going until. What time is it? Oh my goodness, it's 11:30. I've got a hard stop at noon to get ready for the picture framing thing. So I'm going to just get a couple more scenes done and then going to wrap it up. So another 20 minutes. Let's see.
Steve really got into volcanoes for a while. That was the passion before fungi.
I don't.
Oh, really?
I'm not so sure I like that, but it's like Steve is.
I went there as well.
Steve really got into volcanoes for a while. That was the passion before fungi.
I know what it is that's bothering me about it. It's kind of like, yeah, forget it. Forget I said that. Let's listen.
That's
That's it. I went there as well.
Steve really got into
I think I'm gonna put my reaction here and then cut the gap here so that I can put Catherine's comment further back like so, and then my response after the first thing that she says. You'll see what I mean, like this. Get rid of that and then move my response right over the top of me to there. Let's see what that sounds like.
Katoa was.
That's it. I went there as well.
Steve really got into volcanoes for a while.
Oh, really?
Well, I probably should put my video back on. This doesn't look right, does it?
That's where Krakatoa was.
That's it. I went there as well.
Steve
I think just a little bit longer on that. Maybe that long. Won't look as jarring. Let's see.
I went there as well.
Steve really got into
Okay, that's good.
volcanoes for a while.
Oh, really? Do any fungi grow in volcanoes?
Okay, this is gonna just be echo for the time being.
Any fungi grow in volcanic ash or volcanic soil?
Probably. But
This might be one of those questions I just cut completely because it doesn't really have an answer.
There's fungi in the
Let's see. Let's put their volume back up here. Let's cut their echo out because that's the end of my question right there. That's soil. So all of this, I think this is nothing but echo.
In volcanic ash or volcanic soil?
Okay, we can get rid of that. We can move this down to there where the answer would begin if I decide to leave this in.
In volcanic ash or volcanic soil?
Probably, but I've never tried to combine the two hobbies.
First of all, I don't need that hesitation thing. Doesn't add anything, and I'm not sure that this answer does either.
There's fungi in the Chernobyl reactor.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Okay. I guess I have to leave this in as context for this. That's okay. I've forgotten they talk about mushrooms growing in Chernobyl, so.
The only thing that can live inside the reactor core of Chernobyl, they found fungi growing.
Who found fungi?
Okay, that's funny. Who found fungi growing? Where do I say that? Right there. Like so, I think. See how what I just did there? I slid my track back over the earlier part of my track, and then when I moved it forward again, the piece underneath was gone. And that's what I'm talking about when I say you've got to be careful with the stuff that you can't see to the right that's off here in the future, because you can do the same thing in that direction. Let's see what that sounds like. I need to put my volume, well, my volume is up, and let's see what that sounds like.
But I've never tried to combine the two hobbies.
There's fungi in the Chernobyl reactor.
Why am I on screen? That's not necessary, is it?
Probably, but I've never tried to combine the two hobbies.
There's fungi in the Chernobyl reactor.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. The only thing that can live inside the reactor core of Chernobyl, they found fungi growing.
Who found fungi growing? And what were they doing?
All right, so their laugh needs to come sooner. Let's listen to that again. I think all I need is that laugh there. Let's see. And I think it needs to be, let's listen to that.
Growing. And what?
Nothing there. Move the laugh to right on top of it.
Who found fungi growing? And what were they?
And then cut this volume back with keyframes. Just drop the volume of the laugh while I come in with this other thing.
Who found fungi growing? And what were they doing at that?
All right, then leave everybody laughing together. That's quite nice. I like that. See how I'm using these keyframes to drop the volume where both of us are laughing at once, because their laugh was covering what I was saying. Not that that's a bad thing, but it just sounded better like this. Let's listen to that.
Growing.
Who found fungi growing? And what were they doing at that?
Okay, that's good enough. We'll cut me off there so we can see them laughing. I think that's good.
They found fungi growing.
Who found fungi growing? And what were they doing at that?
Well,
That's
they
what you
obviously
need to
took
worry
a sample and analysed.
That's what you need to worry about. And where does he kick in?
Took a sample and sample and analyze it for any life forms.
This is where Steve kicks in and I kick out. So let me try doing this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, this is me talking. So Steve will be silent there.
Doing it there. That's what you need to work.
Sample and analyze it.
I need to keep talking because my sentence doesn't finish till there, so I will add a little bit there and then drop my volume back to nothing, while Steve I'm going to leave up at volume here.
That's what you need to work.
Sample and analyze it for any life forms.
They sent a robot down actually. I've seen,
Okay, that's good. That's good. I think we're ready to move on. Things look like they get normal out here, but it is now almost noon. No, it's not. We got a little bit longer.
Life forms.
They sent a robot down actually. I've seen,
Because you can't.
My echo. Yeah, my echo there. So I'm going to cut that out and cut straight to the next words. My volume's off.
They sent a robot down actually. I've seen,
Because you can't go anywhere near the reactor core.
All right, I am a bit of a smart ass, you know? Well, you probably know that. So where do I start saying that? I come across a lot of smart alecky comments.
I can't believe that. Fungus grub, I bet they glow in the dark too.
All right, I can't believe that. I bet they glow in the dark too.
Well, oddly enough, they
What
protect
is this?
themselves from the radiation, and even they use and metabolize the radiation by using melanin. They coat themselves with melanin.
Okay, that's a jumbled mess, isn't it?
I can't believe that.
All right.
Analyze it for any life forms.
They sent a robot down actually. I've seen,
Because you can't go anywhere.
You can't go anywhere near it.
I can't believe that.
And then, okay, now's when I need to check to make sure I don't have anything out to the right that could be hurt. Yeah, I do. If I move this too far back, it will overwrite the next segment that's coming. So I've got to be very, very cautious. And when I move everything, I need to hit the A key first and move everything with it. Let me see what I'm going to need to do here.
Because you can't go anywhere.
I can't believe that.
Okay, all I really need to do is move me back a little bit.
You can't go anywhere near them.
I can't believe that.
A little bit further. Okay, so that should put us back in sequence. I can leave me up and he'll pick up here.
I can't believe that. Fungus grub, I bet they glow.
They don't say anything, or do they? Let's see. Oh, that was already up.
I can't believe that. Fungus.
I think I just need to compress all that in on itself.
I can't believe that. Fungus.
Yeah. Let's see if I just cut this out to there.
I can't believe that. Fungus grub, I bet they glow in the dark too.
Actually,
I bet they glow.
that's all we need is I bet they glow in the dark.
Bet they glow in the
In fact, it can leave the eye off it too, so that'll compress it down. Bet they glow in the dark. And what are they saying here?
Bet they glow in the dark too.
That's my echo, which means they're laughing there. Okay, all right, now I understand what's going on. So I'm just going to put a cut here. Excise that because it's nothing but background and echo. Slide their laugh right on top of the end of my sentence. Let's see what else we can get rid of to clean this up. So,
Because you can't go anywhere near the reactor core.
I
can't go anywhere near the reactor core.
can't believe that.
And then that's Steve's echo.
Is that?
You can't go anywhere. So let's cut that out. Yeah, let's try that.
I can't believe that they glow in the dark.
I cut the end of my claws off. Let's try that.
I can't believe that. Bet they glow in the dark.
Yeah. The T is missing off the end of my that, but I don't want to.
Believe that. Bet they glow in the dark.
That'll do. That will do. Okay, so I'll put my video up for just a second. So this is Steve the whole time. Let's look at that.
Yeah.
Because you can't go anywhere near them.
I don't like this cut right here.
Because you can't.
No, Catherine jumps too much. So let's see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because you can't go anywhere near the reactor.
I can't believe
Near the reactor.
I can't believe that. Bet they glow in the dark.
Let me just put them right touching together, like so. Let's see what that looks like, and then we can move on. What is this? Just laugh. Let's get my picture off. All right, let's just see what that whole thing sounds like.
They sent a robot down actually. I've seen. Yeah.
Because you can't go anywhere near the reactor.
I can't believe that.
I'm stomping on the end of his reactor here.
You can't go anywhere near the reactor.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm going to move that. So I'm going to move everything right a little bit and then move his part only back like that. Get his reactor out from under my interruption.
Because you can't go anywhere near the reactor.
I can't believe that. Bet they glow in the dark.
I've squashed that. Let me try moving. By the way, when you click the double arrows here, it's going to affect anything at that point. So if I want to move everything to the right of this, but not this middle piece, I need to click to the right of that piece, like here. And that will allow me to do that. And then I can move that and then stretch either of these clips to fill the gap, and that might give me the rest of my thought.
Believe that. Bet they glow in the
Yeah. That's better.
I believe that. I bet they glow in the dark.
Yeah. All right. So that should be pretty smooth. They're not on screen long enough here. Let me do that.
See. Yeah.
Because you can't go anywhere near the reactor.
I can't believe that. I bet they glow in the dark too.
Okay. I'm happy with that. We'll leave that alone.
When,
Well, they,
what is it?
Uh-oh. Now we're fighting for air.
enough they protect themselves from the radiation.
Okay. He wins.
When,
Well, they,
what is
oddly
this?
enough they protect themselves from.
I might just leave that. Sometimes it's okay to leave a mess like that because it sounds very natural.
Well, oddly enough, they protect them.
Okay, let's just assume he's going to win, and let's cut my volume off. Sometimes that's all you've got to do.
Well, oddly enough, they protect themselves from the radiation, and even they metabolize the radiation by using melanin. They coat themselves with.
What do I say there?
Melanin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah? Okay, we'll leave that in. And drop everything else back out. And I'll just slide this to where it fits.
They metabolize the radiation by using melanin. They coat themselves.
Okay, it doesn't sound good there, but it'll sound fine right there.
By using melanin.
Oh, yeah.
Let me look like I'm into this.
By using melanin.
Oh, yeah.
They coat themselves.
Echo.
They coat themselves.
This is all echo. So because we don't want to have a jump in the video, well, it goes from me to him, so we can do that. I'm just going to get rid of that and then slide all of this down like so.
By using melanin.
Oh, yeah.
They coat themselves with.
I'm gonna move. Let me try that.
Radiation by using melanin.
Oh, yeah.
They coat themselves with melanin. They coat themselves with melanin.
Yeah, you know what? It would be just as easy to kill that.
By using melanin.
Oh, yeah.
They coat themselves.
Now I've got to cut out his echo. This is complicated, isn't it? You can't make a change without having a ripple effect.
By using melanin.
Oh, yeah.
Now that becomes redundant. That whole thing needs to come out. What I should have done in the first place.
By using melanin.
Oh, yeah.
They coat themselves with melanin.
Ah, what a mess.
Coat themselves with melanin.
I've lost the they, but if I take my comment here and move it just a little bit, it'll hide the fact that the they are missing. Let's try that. And we'll leave their picture up. Right, okay, so.
By using melanin.
Oh, yeah.
They coat themselves with melanin.
Yes, okay.
And they manage to use a small amount of the energy of the radiation. They only have to use a fraction of 1% of the energy. And they manage to survive.
Things can live in those spots.
Okay, so I think we're about at the quitting point for today. I'm going to finish this video myself. I'm going to do this other live stream this morning, but I think you've seen enough from one end of this video to the other that it's complicated. There are a lot of moving parts, and there is a lot more creativity that goes into this process than I think people realize. There are a million ways that you can adjust the flow of the conversation just using the techniques I've shown you, and we haven't even touched on but a few of them. be sure to watch the final video when it comes out, because you'll see, you'll know better than anybody what this looked like before it started, and I think you'll find it interesting, to say the least, to see what the final product looks like, considering what the pieces look like going in. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there so I can go get ready for doing this picture framing live stream, and I will see you guys on Christmas Eve. If you're listening to this before Christmas, we're getting together on Saturday. Everybody is invited. There's an invitation over on Discord. We have a Zoom meeting that's normally just for Patreon only, but this Christmas Eve we're doing it for everybody. So I hope you'll come join us. And I am going to put my picture up so I can say goodbye. I've been hiding behind the editing monitor all morning. But anyway, thanks for coming by. The couple of you that came. I'm going to put this up as a long, boring video for anybody who wants to go back through and get any pointers. But what I am going to do is put together a video where I hit on the high points of how to use Premiere Pro, because it's such a valuable tool. For anybody who's ever planning on doing any video editing at all, this is the tool you need to learn. It's the best one out there. Okay, guys, do have a good day, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye.